going back to 9 years old, winning championships in karting, how like how did you go from a rental series to getting your own cart? Like, what was that journey like?
So there was a lot of convincing, a lot of begging, a lot of pressure to convince my parents to buy us the first go kart. So I remember, since 7 a.m. in the morning, I was like, "Dad, I want to go kart. I want to go kart. Please, I'll do whatever it takes." And to my mom, and finally, we convinced them. And yeah, I remember like if it was yesterday, to when we went to pick it up. Um, and we brought it back home, and we just you know build it all apart, build it back together, maybe the wrong way, and that's how our real journey started. But it took a couple of weeks for them to, like, when you have nobody that has ever raced, um it was like learning from zero. So just to find out how we could who we can talk to buy the go-kart, and the competitions, and that's how we sort of started. Then we took, like, to get the license, a course, and then you connect with people that actually know a little bit more, and then they can coach you in a way, and that's how we really started. But at the beginning, like everybody, your dad starts to be your mechanic, and you bond, sort of start to understand how things work in the business, and that's how we really started, going in the easy kart. Was the championship I started racing first.
How long did it take you to grasp setup on a go-kart? I mean, when your dad's the engineer, I can attest to this because I am trackside for hours just getting ready for the first practice. And then when you can't find the time, you spend more hours trying to find it. And I'm not a mechanic, so I'm kind of just Googling it and asking for help. And people are willing to help you until a point. So if you're already challenging the other people out there, like, how hard was it to get help?
Absolutely. Being the only two girls that were racing. So, first day, everybody smile at you. Oh, it's great to have girls here, blah, blah, blah. They're all super helpful. But the minute you start to be competitive, you can see the changes on their faces, and the friendly advice is not there anymore. It They become frightened by you, and that's how, thankfully, it came a little bit later. But it's yeah, I wouldn't say it's like an ugly feeling, but a good feeling at the same time, because you know that you're being taken seriously. Yet in karting, I felt like those first years were like, you doubt a little bit of what you're doing, because people were saying that we were cheating, that I had a better go-kart, that they always try to blame something else for my performance. It could not be that I was training, and that I was getting better, and being better than the guys in the track. It was always about finding an excuse. So it was hard for me, um, growing up, but I love the challenge. I love seeing the sad faces at the end of the weekend, when you're winning in the podium, and they're all looking at you like, "What the hell is this girl doing there?" So yeah, it soon became, I've always been very competitive, but the environment started to change once we started to be competitive.
That's that's such an it's like that everywhere. It's always the go-kart, when it's never the driver. When my son is slow, it's always like, dad, can we get a new set of tires? Maybe it's the tires, or can we get a different gear ratio because it's the gears. I'm like, nope, nope, nope. You need more track time. That's what it is. So I find it funny that it's if somebody can go out there and win, it's never talent. It's you're you're doing something to the engine you're not supposed to, or you're, I don't, you're doing stuff to the tires to make them stickier. So plus you guys at this point, I imagine, have no idea what you're doing. So like the thought of being able to bend the rules like that is it's also laughable. So
Yeah, no, I remember, leading my first race, and then the guy who was behind me just threw me out of the track, so I didn't finish. I was so pissed, and my dad was like, "Don't worry, there'll be more times." And then second time happened the same, and I'm like, "Okay, I gotta do something different." So I just went out and I took everyone out. I didn't overtook anybody, and since then I was like, "Okay, everybody's respect me a little bit better," and it was a lot of fun. So I think you have to find your own way of how things need to work out.